Today we're going to talk about ties and dots. These are to do to augment the duration of the note. For example, if we have two notes, the same pitch note, does not matter the rhythm. I'm going to add here, so one half a note plus one quarter note. They need to be the same pitch note and the same clef. So you add one tie. This tie is equal of a dotted half a note. So the dot, the quantity of the dot is half of the value of the note. So half of the quarter note, the half a note is a quarter note. Let's see another example here. A tied quarter note with the eighth note. Separated by the tie, you add to the value ta. So the value is one quarter note plus 1/8 note is a dotted quarter note. If I have a dotted eighth note, let's do the opposite. A dotted eighth note is a eighth note. So an eighth note plus 1/16th note. Tied. So this tie here, this symbol here, is to add to the value of the note. So half of the half a note is a quarter note. Half of the quarter note is eighth note. Half of the eighth note is the 16th note. So therefore you have here, you augment the tempo. Let me just you augment the value of the tempo. So now let's give some exercise. First, let me change here the time signature. The key signature, sorry. Time. Let's go into here. So this is the Star Spangled Banner. So ta 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 ta. So that dotted eighth note, I could write that is an eighth note tied with the 16th note. So a gente put the tie here. See, it's the same as with a dotted eighth note. I can write it both ways is correct. One is abbreviation of the other. So this is the abbreviation of the top as the dotted, as the eighth note tied to the 16th note. So to add value must be the same pitch note. Pitch note is the note with the same vibration per second. So E5 with E5 tied. In this case, here is a dotted eighth note. Ta 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 ta. That part here. I have a tied chord note. So this is the same as a dotted chord note. Is a chord note tied with the eighth note. Ta 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 ta. Another tied here. So here we have one eighth note tied with the 16th note. Is a dotted eighth note. Okay. So this type of the tied is to add to the value of the note. Add to the value of the note. So here a half a note tied with the chord note is a dotted half a note. A chord note tied with the eighth note is a dotted chord note. A eighth note tied with the 16th note is the dotted eighth note. Now, there are different ties. This tie here could be phrase or legato. Legato means to play connected. I'm not sure if the program would play. Let's hear. Now let's see without the tie. Now let's hear without the tie, okay? Now with the tie. Okay. Now I'm going to do the reverse. I'm going to put the dotted note and we're going to add the tie, okay? See if you remember that music. So let's see if you can remember. Let me play. Okay, now let's transcribe what the tie here, okay? So a dotted quarter note is a quarter note tied to the eighth note. Dotted quarter note is a quarter note tied to the eighth note. A dotted quarter note is a quarter note tied to the eighth note. Afterwards, I'm going to put the tie, okay? A dotted quarter note is a quarter note tied to the eighth note. So a dotted quarter note is equal to a quarter note plus its half. The half of the quarter note is the eighth note, so add one tie. The half of the quarter note is the eighth note, so you had a tie. Watch, had one quarter note tied to the eighth note. I cannot see very well here. So the dot, this dot here, is half of the value of the note that precedes. So the note before the dot, in this case, is the quarter note. So the half of the quarter note is eighth note. So you add one tied. So instead of ta, 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 so ta, 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 ta. Without the tie, it's ta, 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 ta. Let's play without the tie here. Okay. Now with the tie, I wrote wrong, sorry. Okay? A different type of dot. This dot is to add to the value of the note, and this is to subtract the value. Let me copy and paste because my vision here is. Let's add one dot below the note head. Let me find here. See? So this dot will take half of the value of the sound. So instead to have cardinal notes, it's going to be eighth note and 1/8 rest. So half is sound plus half silence. So sound and silence. Let me just write it here so you can have. So half is sound plus half silence. This is staccato. The name of this dot is staccato. So inside, so ta 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 ta, so ta 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 ta. So sound rest, sound rest, sound rest. Ta ta ta. So ta 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 ta. I just sing on the half part of the chord note sound. Okay, let's listen to the staccato. What music is that you think that is? That has a staccato? Don't Stop Believing. On the glue verso, ta, 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 ta. Ta, 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 without staccato. Ta, 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 ta. Ta, 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 ta. Staccato. Ta, 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 ta. Okay? So have minimum. This is just the beginning. We are not going to learn all the dots and ties. But the first tie is to add to the value of the note that gives the dot, the first dot. Then the next dot that you learn is below the note head. The first one is on the right side of the note head. Note head. Note head. Note head. Okay. So on the right side of the note head, even if the stem is on the left side of the note head, but the dot is on the right side of the note head. See, the stem is on the left side of the note head. Here, the stem is on the right side of the note head, but the dot, this augmented dot, is on the right side of the note head. And the staccato is below the note head. So the staccato is half sound plus half silence. See? Equal parts. Let's see if I can find here my Don't Stop Believing. Let's see what I have there. It's not a good version. Okay, so this version here, because therefore I won't be able to find it. I'm going to add the staccato here, okay? This is not the best version, but for now what we have. So that's the bridge. So you see here the dotted chord note. This is not staccato. This is to add to the value of the note. So the chord note, dotted chord note is equal to a chord note plus the eighth note tied. So all this here would be staccato. All this on the accompaniment is the voice that they sing on the release of ta, 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 da, 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 staccato. And here, so the dotted on the bridge is dotted chord note, which means the chord note tied with the eighth note. You have here a tied eighth note with the half a note. It's not a dotted half a note. It's just the tied of the eighth note with the half a note. So ta 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 ta. Let's go from the bridge. Staccato here do not put staccato, but staccato. Okay, so on this is Don't Stop Believing. You have staccato and you have the dotted notes. Okay,